we are raising money for First Ward schools, and I understand that you did something similar last year with 2,000 backpacks. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you guys were able to achieve last year?
Well, that's a back-to-school fair. We're doing that as well this year. So it's a very robust fair where we have 30 to 40 vendors that children and families can come visit one day between 10 and 4. And at the end, they get a backpack full of supplies for school and whatnot. And there's a lot of services. They can get a haircut. They can get flu shots.
Oh, wow.
They can get handouts from local stores. But they're required, if they want that backpack, to visit at least 6 of the vendors and get them to sign off on it. So they're not just coming and getting the backpack and leaving. They're actually getting some wellness out of the fair. You know, the more the better, obviously. We've gotten sponsorships are about the same, but we hopefully will increase by 20% the amount of students that we can serve. And then with the fundraiser Thursday, hopefully we can raise a significant amount of money, thousands of dollars, to be able to then do other things that we're unable to do with the fair. For instance, a laptop or musical instruments is really what I'm looking at, because my different programs need those. I grew up in a low-income family, and I remember every year at the beginning of school, it was a shoe thing. Like you get new shoes to go back to school, right? Mm-hmm. And so on the first day of school, most kids had new shoes. You know, I remember a couple of years where I have an older sister where I actually got new shoes, but my new shoes were her hand-me-downs, and they weren't completely feminine, but they weren't that masculine either. Yeah. You know, and my parents are a great, loving family, but they just could not afford that. They couldn't afford it, and so personally to me, if we can supply those sort of things to kids, whether it's school supplies, whether if they need 16 crayons and they only show up with 3 or 4 in a little Ziploc bag, you know, there's a social enigma there that we want to take away and to try to make it so they come to school prepared, first of all, to learn, but also that they're socially acceptable. So that's kind of where it hits my heart more than my head.